Well, we know how much of an issue kidnapping has become in South Africa over the past few years. Well, two of the three suspects in the kidnapping of an 11-year-old girl in Mayfair back in November are expected to appear in court today. Let's get the very latest on where we are at this. eNCA's Barry Bateman joining us for more on this. Obviously, good news in this case, Barry. I know you follow these stories closely. At least the girl reunited with her family. But take me through the legal aspect of this. We're talking about two suspects, but there are in fact three in this case.
Yeah, good afternoon, Gareth. The two suspects that appeared here today were in fact arrested in December and they made their first appearance on the 7th of December. What we heard, now the police had originally told us that they applied for bail, but they were denied bail. But what we heard in court today, in fact, is that there was no bail application. The matter was postponed for some matters to be clarified, and those related to the previous convictions of the accused. Now, we had accused number one, a Mr. Ndlovu. What we heard is that he's a previous conviction of armed robbery with aggravating circumstances, as well as theft and another charge. Now, he contends through his defense attorney that these were successfully appealed. So that is a matter of contention that still needs to be addressed before we even get to the bail application. So the accused told the court today that in fact they are abandoning a bail application until such time that these matters have been addressed, because they speak directly to whether or not this is a Schedule 5 or a Schedule 6 matter to be heard in the court. Now, you correctly pointed out that there is a third suspect. That man, as we understand it, has been arrested in Mozambique on the 31st of December. Through the arrest of these two individuals, they managed to track down that third suspect, but he managed to evade arrest just before they were about to get him on the other side of the border, but they do have him. Extradition proceedings are underway in that country to bring the person home.
Can we just move away from the court case? I think we'll come back there now if we need to add something else to it, Barry. Can we talk a little bit about the family and this young girl, this 11-year-old, reunited with her family? Do we get a sense of how she is doing? Obviously, we won't give names for the safety of the child. Any idea what the family is saying and how they're feeling after this ordeal?
Yeah, absolutely, Gareth. You know, one of the first things I did on Wednesday when we got word that she had been rescued, I called the father. And while he was very appreciative of the support from the public during the 48 days that she was held in captivity, he says they're just not in a position to speak publicly at this stage. He said they are still very traumatized. Now, those 48 days that the child kept in captivity must have been the most difficult days of her life. This is the 11-year-old little girl. We understand she was staying in the small little room where she was kept captive with two men. Physically, Gareth, she was found unharmed. She was taken to a hospital after her rescue and she was assessed. Physically, she is fine, but it's that emotional support, certainly, that she is going to be needing probably for the rest of her life. So physically, she's okay. I can confirm that. But otherwise, you know, she is with her family getting the support that she needs.
Yeah, and obviously she's going to need a lot of support. The family is going to need support while they support her as well. So we'll leave the family aside now. I just want to check for viewers who weren't aware that you'd spoken to the family what was happening there. Let's come back to the court case now. What's the latest on the timeline on this? What's next?
Yeah, so the next step, we will be back at about the middle of next month. I think they chose the 22nd of February that we will be back here. That is confirm those previous convictions, which will speak to which schedule this case is being heard. And the accused number two also still needs to appoint a lawyer. So back next month on that. And of course, we'll be keeping a close eye on extradition proceedings for accused number three.
Absolutely. I was about to ask you about that extradition, but no doubt it's Barry Bateman, insight from inside the story here on All Angles. Back to Barry as he gets more information, especially on this extradition for this third suspect, which was nabbed in Mozambique, that process of extradition underway.